Good morning. Welcome to this year's Nanyang Tea Challenge. This is the 5th run of the challenge and the 3rd run of the digital edition in conjunction with the Singapore HeritageFest. This year, to make the challenge more interesting, we have added 2 components to it. First of all, the challenger actually has to use the Classical Nanyang Tea with some herbs and spices to create a new taste. Second, this year, Singapore HeritageFest has the theme of nature. So we have given them additional task of trying to show us how they can brew the tea in a nature theme, in a nature environment. Right? For those who don't know what is Nanyang Tea, you can go to our website, peksingchun.com, to know more. In short, Nanyang Tea is actually a concept of blending and roasting tea locally. It is actually a representation of the resourcefulness and creativeness of our forefathers. Right, coming back to the challenge, this year we have 8 challenges from Thailand, Malaysia and Singapore. They will be showcasing their fusion Nanyang tea as well as the food that they have chosen for the pairing. For the final, the judges' decision actually take up a heavier weightage compared to the preliminary, but your vote still counts. So remember to cast your vote for your favorite challenges. You can find the polling URL in the event page or Pek Sing Chun Facebook page. Right. Let me now go to the judges. Right. First of all, we have Mr. David Chew, the Festive Director of NHB.
Morning, Ingwa. Thank you for being part of the Heritage Fest.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us again. Right. Second, we have Mr. Michael Stanley Barker.
Morning, Ingwa.
Hello. And he's the Assistant Professor of History and Medical Humanities in NTU. And last but not least, we have Mr. Kim Waiki, the founder of Chi Pottery.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. Okay, they will be grading the challenges based on 3 criteria. First of all, of course, the taste of the blended tea. Right. Secondly, the suitability of this new tea with the tea that they have, this new tea with the food that they have chosen to pair. And last but most importantly is the overall presentation. Right? The overall presentation based on creativity and innovation. Okay. Without further ado, let me now bring in our first challenges into the scene. Okay? And he is Mr. Kelvin Ang from Singapore. The tea he has blended is actually called Unity in Diversity. Let's see what Kelvin had to say about this. Kelvin.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us today for the Nanyang Tea Challenge. My name is Kelvin and I'll be your first challenger for today. So, like what Ingwa said, our tea is called the Unity in Diversity, and basically the blend is Pek Sing Chun's renowned unknown fragrance. We have rose buds, and we have candied ginger. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to start brewing for you, and here we go. It's a bit quiet. Now that the vessels are warm, we're going to add in our tea. First in is a full pack of the renowned unknown fragrance. We're going to take 2 rose buds. We're going to pluck out the stem, crush the rosebud and into the pot. Same with the other one. Crush the stem into the pot. Then we're going to take some candied ginger and we're going to put it in as well. Okay? Our tea to water ratio is 8 grams of Fixing Chun's renowned unknown fragrance, 2 rose buds, 4 grams of candied ginger, and we're going to let it steep for 2.5 minutes, starting now. We're also going to do this the brewing vessel extra hot. So while we wait for the tea, we're going to enjoy another one. This is our renowned unknown fragrance blend, the Unity in Diversity blend in the artisanal sparkling tea version. We are going to serve it in a champagne flute over here. Whoa. Check out the bubble. Okay. We are also going to do a whiskey inspired tea with the same blend, but we've doubled the recipe and we've doubled the time, the brewing time. So just to wash our hands, first we're going to touch some ice. There we go. So shave the ice to size so that it fits in our glass. Should do it. The glass, the white. And top up with the ready-made tea. Certainly looks like whiskey, right? Oh, what's the time? 15 seconds more. Almost done. Okay, gonna break this out. And it's about time. There we go. The long brewing time. This is going to be a super strong, super decadent tea. The candied ginger is going to lend a little bit of sweetness. And the rose is going to make it really floral. There we go. For our food pairing, we are pairing it today with kueh lapis. I mean, everybody knows kueh lapis, right? Alright, cheers! Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Well, we are actually interested. What is this location that you're in?
I am actually in a neighborhood park outside my house with lots and lots of greenery around. I hope you can see the trees in the background over here. It's really beautiful. Maybe we can pan the camera a little bit. Tilt it to the right and the left. You can see everything.
Oh my god.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. And so this is something wonderful about Singapore. A park's just outside your house, right? And very wonderful presentation by Calvin, right? With 3 different way of making this tea: the hot style, the sparkling style, and the one with alcohol. And we have the hot and the sparkling version here now on our table for our judges to try it together with the kueh lapis. Now, let's come back to the judges for you all to do the tasting.
It's the most exciting part.
Yeah.
Cool. we've been waiting for.
Well, for the sparkling, I think you'll try it later.
Later, right?
Yeah,
Let's
you
try
try
that.
the hot
Yes.
tea with that, which is our criteria. Wow. David show a very good expression. The other one trying to hide the expression. I don't know how is it taste.
Okay, then we try the food. Yes, part of the.
So kueh lapis is actually a very popular food around this region. Most people know about it, and Calvin actually pair it with the tea that he has blended. How good is it? I guess I won't ask the judges now. We'll do a consolidation, and later they'll give us our comment. Their comment on how they find the blend is like and how the food and the tea blends. Right. So coming back, we're going to go into our second challenges, and this challenger is Miss Peggy Tang from Singapore. She has blended a tea by the name of Relief. Sounds like something good
Hi.
for after a tiring day, right? So Peggy,
Yeah.
up to you now.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Peggy, and I think I'll just like talk as I brew. Yeah, because it takes quite a while to steep. So I'm actually currently in NTU. This is actually in North Spine, the Sky Bridge. So since the theme was about nature, I did think about going to parks, but somehow I felt like why not try a urban setting as well, since it's like we do actually have quite a bit of urban gardens. Uh, so I actually like this area quite a bit because it's very quiet, especially during evenings and weekends. So you can see like it's not so crowded now. Yeah. And yeah, here is my blend. Yeah. So my blend actually consists of the 不知香. I didn't use this. This is my own stock. And dried ginger and some dried lemongrass. So I just heated up the cups. So I just added, just let me add this. Yeah, just nice. I actually did the blend, like I added the 3 packs to make the blend. Then I sent like two packs for the two packs for the judges, and this is like my own. Yeah, I'll just yeah. So actually for this blend, it was quite sort of like a sudden kind of inspiration, because like after I signed up for it, like this blend, I had this in mind. So I actually initially I blended it with fresh ginger, and it was like a lot better than dried ginger. Yep. So now I just let it like steep. So I actually came up with the name was because like since when we were young, like my mom always say like, oh, ginger, it relieves like stomach discomfort and all that, and also like lemongrass itself, it also like helps in digestion. And 不知香, like after meals, like if you drink tea, it also aids in digestion as well. So I did relief. Then also because it was kind of a tough challenge to try to improve the blend as well. So it was like also an emotional release. Always a relief that I, came up with this. Yeah, and then actually, it's not. So for this blend, I actually paired with kaya toast because I was actually thinking something along like something more local flavor. So since we have ginger, we have lemongrass, so why not something with like something sweet with coconut and pandan. So I did try like quite a few foods, but like I did try chiffon cake, but it didn't kind of work out. So I did have this kaya toast, and I'm actually quite yeah. So I think it should be okay. Yeah. So now I pour out the tea. And yeah, this is my tea, and I'm actually hungry, so I shall just take a bite. Um, and in such a relaxed environment, so this is actually my breakfast in a nature setting. So there you have it. It's my tea blend.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peggy. You're saying this is in which place?
NTU.
Oh, NTU. Right.
Yes. This is the North
Something that
Line.
Michael is quite familiar with.
That's right.
Yeah.
Have you seen this before?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places on campus.
Ah, okay. Also,
I
our
really
judge, I
like
think
this
you may get
place a
some points for
lot,
that.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So,
I'm
like what you say,
actually-
you see?
I'm actually still NTU. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
it's interesting that we in Singapore that at any corner we can find greeneries and all that. So,
Yeah.
like what Peggy is doing now, she's actually right there in the place where she just have a relaxed time in the real life, having her tea there. Right. Okay, so how does it go about? We see the presentation. Now we want to see the food and the tea, how they pairs up together. And the food and tea is now on the table for the judges to try. Judges, please carry on.
I love it.
Kaya toast, another very popular local breakfast. Okay, I have asked many of we do heritage tour, and asked many of the participants. Almost half of them will tell me kaya toast. They have kaya toast for the day, right? So now we have it together with the new tea taste. How we go about? We'll let the judges tell us. Well, we have the food earlier, so it's a bit cold, so it may not be the same condition as it is, but definitely the same condition as what Peggy is having now after keeping the toast for a while. The judges seems to be trying not to tell me what they think about it until at the end they give their comment. Look at them. Nothing to tell me about. Okay. So I'm going to move on to the third challenges. And this third challenges is actually from Malaysia. He is Mr. Goh Tiam Huat. And he is going to tell us more about his blended tea. And the name of the tea is Longevity Tea. Wow, a big name. And I don't know what food he's going to pair with it. Let him tell us now. Mr. Goh,
Yes. Later. Okay, thank you. 嘿，大家好，我用华语啊，听到吗？好，那呢，刚才我就示范了一个手法，我的茶呢名字叫做长寿茶，所以是跟人体健康是有关系的。我先把这个茶叶倒进去里面。我这个茶呢是比较特别，所以呢我需要它洗的比较久一点。好，那我现在来介绍这个茶是属于什么茶呢？可以，当然是有原创的，叫做不知名著名不知香，在这里了，著名不知香。接下来呢，就是我们的苦丁茶。苦丁茶，在这里 ，OK， 它的作用呢是在于降低我们的高血脂、高血糖。好，这是焦虎兰，焦虎兰，它呢可以降低我们的胆固醇，有效的预防。这寄生茶，它可以安神，可以让我们呢可以很多人失眠嘛，当它可以在配着这4种茶的时候呢，它就有一个安神、凝神，然后好睡的一个叫做什么呢？养生保健的一个饮品。今天的食物呢，就是我们所谓的豆沙饼我们的豆沙饼可以。当你们配着这个豆沙饼和这个茶的时候呢，味道是特别的可口。当你们喝茶的时候呢，有一个小小的提示，我们在喝的时候，喝了一口，再喝一口，茶的香味呢是慢慢的顺着我们的喉咙往下，非常的顺喉，清甜又好喝。你咬了一口豆沙饼，黑口茶，养生保健，又可以显示这个茶的香味，显示这个饼在口腔里面的那个香味。非常棒，一流，来 ，Cheers， 谢谢大家。
Okay, thank you, Tiam Hock. Michael, have any issue listening to him, understanding what he say?
完全都听懂。
太厉害了，那太简单了。Okay, so Tiam Hock has actually presented his tea using the Chinese medicine principle. So something that he thought is good for reducing the three highs, okay, cholesterol, blood sugar, and this cholesterol and high blood pressure, right? So something that's good in medically, but how good is it in the taste? I won't know, but the judges is going to know in a while. Okay, so they're going to taste the tea, followed by the recommended food to pair with it, which is a salty bean paste pastry. Okay, judges, it's your time now.
Come. Okay. We should prepare a set for you as well. Ingrid.
Ah, it's okay. To avoid me having to do any comments, I chose not to eat.
I'm sure the viewers at home would also want to know what you think
Sure.
of the pairing.
Okay, good. While the judges is trying to figure out how this thing pairs up, I'm going to go on to introduce the fourth challenger. Okay, the fourth challenger is actually Miss Sherlyn Ng from Singapore. She terms her tea as a balance. So I presume she want to strike a balance between the taste of the tea, as well as the tea food pairing. So let's see if I'm right, Sherlyn. Let's review your answer.
Hi, we are at Mount Faber, Singapore today. It's one of the few places in Singapore where you can actually see our proud CBB skyscrapers and still be immersed in the greeneries of our garden. This Mount Faber is a very good place for you to take a long hike. If you start all the way from the southern reach and walk all your way to Sentosa, it's a good 2-3 hours walk on a day. Although recently Singapore is really very hot, but as you can see, Mount Faber is really well shaded. So if you would like to come and be shrouded by nature and see a part of Singapore heritage, Mount Faber would be a very good spot for you. And Mount Faber, where we are at now, right across us, okay, you can't see it really now, but right across us is where Sentosa is. It's a place where you can get a lot of good food and be very well entertained. And Mount Faber is actually a spot where Raffles signed the treaty with the owner of Singapore to actually come buy Singapore over from the Johor Sultanate. Hey, hi. It's very hot. You have some tea for me?
Okay, seems like the line is a bit freeze. Let's wait for slightly a while and we see how is it. If not, we will bring back Sherlyn again in a while. Okay, let us do the skip for now, because sometime in nature your data may drops and all that. So for now, part of the interesting presentation is done. We'll carry on with the tea brewing in a while for Charlene. Now we are going to bring in. Are we good? Okay, seems that they are back online. Okay, now let's get back to Charlene again for the tea brewing side. Charlene? Charlene, would you want to start your presentation now? We are back on you now. Seems like there's some disruption. Charlene, you try to get your thing done, stop. Then we come back to you again. Okay, we are bringing in the fifth. Okay, we bring in the fifth challenger first. Okay, this fifth challenger is actually Mr. Chen Ji from Singapore. Okay, he's the youngest challenger so far in our 5 run of the Nanyang Tea Challenge. And he's going to pair his blended tea with a dish supposedly cooked by him, but I guess now his mother had to do it because of his condition. He'll tell us about it in his presentation. Okay, Ji.
Hello guys, so yeah, I'm T. I got COVID. It's very, yeah. So yeah. Guys, okay, so I actually made this pudu siam with bean and rosemary. I added 8 grams of the pudu siam, 4 mint leaves and 4 rosemary. So I'm just going to go brew it real quick. Yes. So this is a quick brew tea, so I'm just gonna brew it for a while. The tea to water ratio is 8 grams to 70 grams. And there's a new choice of the tea instead of the usual
Ji, your video is off.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so
Okay,
this
please
is
carry
a
on.
breakfast tea. This is the English breakfast tea. Okay, start. It's an English breakfast tea with some puchu siam. Yeah, so I thought this is English tea, but yeah. Okay, anyways, it's just this tea. Let's see. I think it's quite nice. So yeah.
So, Ji, are you going to tell us about the food pairing?
Yeah. Right. I scrambled eggs. Usual. Scrambled eggs with my tea. Actually decorated it with cherry tomatoes and I don't know what's this. Yeah.
Okay. So what's so special about your scrambled egg?
Is that I like to cook stuff, but it's like I always cook it like so messy that my mother always want me to clean up, and I was like go yeah.
Okay, so you still haven't tell us what's so interesting about your scrambled egg. Anything special compared to outside?
It's just like a homemade scrambled egg that you can that I added my own some very weird takoyaki sauce.
Okay.
Yeah, I added mayonnaise takoyaki sauce. It is like it's your own ingredient. I actually I always add takoyaki sauce and mayonnaise inside my scrambled egg because it tastes nice.
Okay.
The taste I just taste actually I like the takoyaki sauce taste on the scrambled egg.
Right. Thank you, Ji, for continue to persevere while having your COVID and still take up this challenge to do your presentation for the finals. Right. We have your tea now in front of the table. As for the scrambled egg, we doesn't have this takoyaki sauce because we can't find that. So we need some imagination from our judges to see how it's like without the takoyaki sauce. But scrambled egg is there. Okay, so judges, a bit tough for you all today. This for this particular food. Please carry on.
Let's.
Okay.
Is mic on? I don't even dare to chew too hard.
I think it's on.
It's alright. People can feel how you actually are enjoying the food.
It's true, I can hear one of you swallowing. The tea sounds delicious.
So like when we're tasting tea, you actually have to gargle around and stay in our tongue for a while. That's why you can hear certain sound here and there. Yeah, so it's normal. Okay, so 4 of our challengers has done their presentation, and at this juncture, actually, I would like to pass the mic to our 3 judges to give us the comments and probably any question they have for the challengers, for the past 4 challengers who have done the presentation. So maybe we can have David to share with us his view first for challenger number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 5.
5, yes. No, I love Ingwa how everyone has chosen very local food to pair with Nanyang tea, of course, the food of the region. And I think it's and we started off very well with Kelvin. The whole food presentation was outdoors, in an outdoor picnic setting, but very professional. There was even shaved ice for whiskey. So presentation I thought was very good for the first one, but I think also the blend, I like the tea blend and the pairing with the kueh lapis because I thought the spice and the herbs really kind of came out. Went very well. Then also the cold tea, cold carbonated tea, wow, that's perfect for the hot weather that we have now. Yeah, so that was very good. I thought Peggy's one was interesting in terms of the taste because it kind of cut through because kaya toast tends to be a bit sweet, right?
Yes.
And of course her tea was blended for digestion benefits, and also when you eat it with the kaya toast, it really cuts through the sweetness, so it kind of went quite well as well. The kaya toast is a contrast, but also very complementary contrast. I thought Go Tiam Huat had a good explanation. I learned so much about both the herbs, the benefits, and I think it was interesting. You brew a tea that really has such benefits to all your overall health, right?
Yes.
And that's quite interesting. Yeah, and I think Ziyi's one also is from a blend of, or a fusion of East and West, right? Yeah, that's kind of interesting take on tea. A very refreshing take on tea this morning.
That's good. Thank you, David. What about you, Michael? What have you got to say?
Well, likewise. I mean, I'm really impressed by the extent of preparation that each of the participants engaged in, and bringing a whole huge set of shobei equipment out into nature. Very impressive. Both having very yin and yang. Calvin's presentation having both the shaved ice and the the hot water being boiled there. I thought the pairing, interesting of that, the tea blend with the rose and the candied ginger, this kind of sweet, fragrant, went very well with the with the gui lapis, right?
Gui lapis, yes.
Yeah. So that really brought out the cinnamons in the gui lapis, and I thought this was very effective. Peggy's was also great, actually. I really loved her pairing. Of course, I'm very sympathetic to NTU, so I loved seeing the Sky Bridge profile there.
Got the right place.
Yeah, exactly. I really found actually I love the simplicity of the ginger flavoring, and I think it really complemented the and sort of as a balance against the kaya toast, and made me want to, when I ate the kaya toast, then I wanted to drink more and more of the ginger tea to really kind of cut through the butteriness. I thought this was lovely.
Okay.
国天妈真的很佩服他的中医的知识. I think it's amazing the depth of knowledge that he's demonstrating, and the kind of the profiling of traditional medicine. I'm a great advocate for traditional medicine, so it's great to see the Jiegu, starting out doing a bone adjustment as part of a whole lifestyle of inclusive sets of practices. And I really like the bringing together all of these zhongyi yao. Actually, jiaogulan is not often used much in zhongyi as much as it is as an independent herb.
Drinks, yes.
And it's very 怎么说了? Bringing together all of these flavors as as something to savor and as something to appreciate, rather than just eating as medicine, I think is a really nice touch. Really brings out the kind of the aesthetics that are present there in Chinese medicine. When I grew up in Taiwan, a lot of people would complain, 这个有太多中医味, about drinks. They didn't like drinking chai, for example, because it had too much cinnamon. But I love this emphasis in cutting it with the against the bing. Was a very nice compliment. And I'm very proud of Chen Zi under duress while having COVID. Going through all this presentation, and I'm sorry that all we got on this side was just the regular angmo scrambled egg. I really want to try your non-angmo scrambled egg.
Well, yeah, given the time and all that, we didn't manage to do that as well. Otherwise, we can actually collect from the mother as well.
But I really like the use of rosemary. Actually, it's a very subtle flavor, which I was surprised, which you don't expect with it's kind of simple breakfast and kind of strong, hearty breakfast. But the rosemary actually takes some time to let the fragrances come through, and that was really nice. Yeah, compliment.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. What about Waiki?
I'm going to talk more about the presentation.
Okay.
So as for Kelvin, you can see that it takes great effort to move so much stuff to the outdoor and set up. Both the hot and cold tea is good, except the whiskey we haven't tasted yet.
Wow, that we maybe have to do a private arrangement with Kelvin.
So maybe that was unnecessary. So if just take that away and just present it will be perfect.
Understand.
And then for Peggy, I think it's very personal. Her workplace and the breakfast you usually take. It's like having breakfast around a few minutes from your workplace before you walk to the place, and her tea and her bread pairing is so light and refreshing. It's not over heavy kind. It's,
Okay.
Yeah. And for Tiam Huat, very nice and detailed explanation on the medical and its effect. The only concern I have is whether tea neutralize the medical
Okay.
effect. Yeah, usually when we talk about Chinese medicine, between tea and coffee, we like before we take the medicine, we need 1 hour beforehand. Yeah. And for Ziyi, I like his tea. Strong flavor, yet very balanced for the scrambled egg.
Okay. Just a pity, like what Marcus says, we didn't have the takoyaki sauce there. Okay, thank you. So, any question you have for the 4 challenges that you all need to ask them? You are good?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, we'll go on to our next challenges. Okay, we're going to bring back Charlene. Charlene, now that the line is back. So, Charlene, are you good? Good, huh? Okay, so let's get back to Charlene for her tea presentation. We have seen how they come to this site, introducing the Fort Canning now. Let's see what she do for the tea and as well as a food pairing. Charlene, please carry on.
Yeah. So sorry for the tech issues. Nature, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. So yes.
Not to worry, please carry on.
So let me just start by brewing the tea, and then I'll just go through why I chose those ingredients. So let me just start first. I'll just let it sit for a while. So maybe a bit about why I chose these 2 ingredients, which is dried basil and goji berries. So I wanted a bit more of like a fusion between the East and the West, right? So typically when you think about dry basil, you think about like European cuisines, and then when you think about goji berries, it's usually Chinese cuisine. So I wanted to put the 2 together and then mix it with the 知名不知香. So also a bit why I wanted to choose these ingredients is to balance the flavor a bit, because the moment I tried the 知名不知香, the first word that came to mind was it was very strong. So for me, it's also about balancing the taste a bit and to make it less strong. Yeah. So let me just serve you some tea. So a bit about why I chose gong tang as the food pairing, right? So I was just trying different teas back then with sugared peanut, and I thought it actually goes very, very well. And instead of just using like regular sugared peanut, I thought maybe I should use something that's a bit more of like, that has more cultural significance. So that's why I chose gong tang, because when I was a kid, I used to eat that and I loved that a lot. So I think it's messy, it's fun, it's something that has cultural significance. So I thought that would be the perfect fit for the tea pairing. So that's all. Thank you. I'm Charlene, and once again, sorry for the tech issues.
Okay, thank you, Charlene, for the presentation.
I'm sweating.
And of course, we can see the front is the gong tang. Gong tang actually, or we call it pounded peanut candy, is actually has its history right back in the Qing dynasty. and very well liked by most people. Quite oftenly used in tea as well. So I don't know how it's going to do well together with this new blended fusion tea. So let our judges decide how it goes. Judges.
Yay. So this is my favorite snack.
Oh, okay. Like what she said, a bit messy, so you can see what we put inside, all the things crushed around already.
Huh.
Wow, now this is an interesting tea. We see expression from the face. Huh? They can't hide the expression this time. But we'll hear what they say later. Okay, so this gong tang is actually quite a sweet, very sweet snack. So how well this tea actually blends in and complements it, we'll let the judges tell us after the 4 challenges done their presentation. Next on the list is Mr. Justin Peck from Singapore as well. Okay. To counter the risk of data loss, like what happened in Sherlyn just now, he actually did a pre-recorded video on how he actually would do the brewing of the tea in the nature, and followed by he will do a live presentation at home of the tea brewing as well as the food pairing. Okay, now let's see what he has in store in the video.
Hi everyone, my name is Justin. So today I'll be at the Labrador Park presenting the tea in outdoors. This tea blend that I made for the competition. Okay, so this year's Nanyang Tea competition is about tea blending with local spice. Yeah, can you imagine how a tea would taste like with spice? We have cinnamon over here. Cinnamon, which is used because it gives a different kind of sweetness to the tea. So the original tea blend, 不知香, already has a sweet smelling aroma to it. So it kind of blend together to give more dimension to the sweetness. Okay, and then cinnamon also helps to lower down the bitterness of the tea to give a more smooth texture. Okay, next we have the orange peel. So the orange peel I use is the one without sugar and salt. So this is used to add more tangy citrus fruitiness to the tea to give it a more overall more flavorful tea. For 2 minutes. So, golden brown color. Okay,
Justin, your mic. Justin, you need to on your mic.
Okay, the location at Labrador Park, there's a lot of landmarks, a lot of birds. I can also hear the waves coming in because it's near at the sea. Excellent place to brew a tea, soak in the atmosphere, and enjoy. Yeah. Okay, next on to the food. Okay, so I actually wanted to create a tea blend that is heavy yet smooth and aromatic at the same time, not too overpowering. So the food that I choose to pair with is laksa over here. So laksa has a very rich gravy to it. It has the sweetness from the unami, sweetness from the shrimp, dry shrimp that is used to make the gravy, and yeah, overall the tea also gives the acidity and the fruitiness to cut through the rich coconut in the gravy. Yeah. So next one we have the laksa tea leaves. Also give a nice contrast to the aroma of the tea. Yeah. So that's all for me. So hope the judges like it.
Okay, so Dustin, you're done with your presentation?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, good. Right, so like what we say, Justin is worried that he can't do a proper presentation at the local site. So he actually did a video and followed by his explanation. He did also a very local food and quite heavy food as compared to the rest we have, laksa. And like what you say, he's going to do a very strong tea to go with it. So let's see how strong and how well it blends with the laksa. Judges, for you to decide.
I think the size of the bowl is very different from Justin's one. Huh?
Yeah, I'm afraid you'll be eating it throughout if you're going to get the big bowl. I hope the laksa is still warm for you.
Probably not.
Cool down already, yeah. So the thermal not so strong enough, huh? Seems like our judges have some difficult time trying to decide whether how it pairs like. So we let them go and ponder about it, and I'm going to my seventh challenger. Okay, today the 7 challenges for today is actually from Thailand, and her name is Niramun, or we can call her Moon. The tea that she's going to blend is a blend without, she didn't give a name, but it's a blend with unknown fragrance with sliced goji berries. Okay, they specially say it must be sliced. So I don't know how that work out in the tea blend. And to pair it, they actually use a very interesting Thai traditional snack. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's like luk chup. Is it luk chup or something like that? Let Moon tell us how it's going to be pronounced. Moon?
Hi, I'm Niramon. Yes, my tea name is KFC. Everyone know KFC,
yes.
right? Yeah, KFC in my mean is keep fit and calm. Yeah, so my tea when you eat you will be like that. Okay, my ingredient of tea have wolfberry, Wolverine or Gao tea or goji berry. Yeah. So blend with the unknown fragrant tea. Yeah. Everyone know, right? Yeah. With the hot water 100. Yeah. So we will start with this. Oh no. I put this first. I put tea first. Eight gram. Put in here. Wow, it smells. So okay, I will put goji berry a bit, about 2 or 3 bunch. Okay, we wait about uh 30 seconds. So the I will tell about goji berry is very useful for health, help maintain about eye. So will be beautiful eyes. Then I pairing with look soup. Look soup in Thailand, half ingredient is from green bean and blend with the a little bit coconut oil, a little bit sugar. Then together is a legend of sweetness for snack. It's very legend because it's like a llama 5, sin llama 5. Yeah. So we will be I think it's okay. Okay, I will serve with this. You can try with look soup. Yeah, we pair together. That's all.
Thank you, Moon.
Thank you. I also try.
Okay. Right.
Very nice.
So, our tea and snack is going to deliver fly in from Thailand, coming soon. Just joking, huh? Okay, it's reaching. Okay, it's actually now on the table in front of the judges. The tea and the ruchuk. Okay, and our guests, our judges, is going to try it and see how it actually pair up together. Judges,
Can the camera see this? Look at that.
let's have a close up of this ruchuk. Very interesting
look at that. That's so
snacks.
colorful.
Making into fruits and all that, but actually is a dessert.
Feast for the eyes.
It's almost like we're in Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't gone in 2 years.
Okay, while our judges is enjoying the tea and fruit now and trying to decipher how it actually pairs up. Okay, let me now bring in the 8th challenger, who is Ken Hock from Singapore. Ken Hock is going to bring us for a jog before he treat us to the tea. Let's see where he bring us to.
嗨，大家好，我姓黄，名建福。今天带大家来这玉朗湖公园，它就在我家的附近。我也常常来这边跑步。好吧，大家就来跟我一起走吧。哇！这个大自然真的风景很漂亮。我今天来到这个玉朗湖花园，跑了很长的路，很口渴，现在很想在这个大自然的情况下来泡泡茶解解渴。那今天我就带了这个著名不知香的茶哦，还有这个茶具啊，来这边泡泡茶解解渴，这就是人生的一大享受。喝了这个南洋茶真的好舒服哦，而且在这大自然的凉风习习当中，刚才跑了步，肚子也饿了。我想想看，还是回家吃一点南洋美食来配这个南洋茶啊！想到了，刚好我家里也准备了这个南洋美食，好，大家就去我家吧。
Can help your mic? Your mic is off.
Okay.
嗨，大家好，欢迎大家来我家。刚才去玉朗湖公园跑完步，口也渴了，那也肚子也饿了，现在就是要来享受南洋美食，还有这个我今天准备的茶。那这一颗是迷迭香哦，迷迭香就是 rosemary tea， 它本身是很多的好处，它可以降低我们的血压，又可以降低我们的头痛，还有增加我们的记忆力。当然，它也可以让我们的血液循环增强我们的免疫力啊。这样一颗这个 rosemary 的叶子就很香了。今天我要泡了这个迷迭香茶就是用2克的迷迭香干叶，还有就是配这个6克的著名不知香的茶叶。好，现在我就要来开始，就是温杯首先温壶我先倒一些好，现在我就要来把这个已经拼配好的迷迭香茶还有茶叶，然后将它倒进去。现在我就要来醒茶。OK， 震一下匙，然后就把它倒掉。好，现在开始再喝一次。好，我们就让这个迷迭香还有茶震一个30秒， 今天我要来介绍了南洋美食，就是素食椰浆饭。我本身是一个素食者，我也很喜欢吃这个拉西勒玛。拉西的意思就是饭，那勒玛是指油脂，就是在用椰浆还有斑斓叶组成的饭，有一个油脂的香味，所以马来人才称为拉西勒玛。那这个拉西勒玛本身就是有花生啦，那个主要是辣椒酱，还有那个素鱼，还有素的江鱼仔，配合起来真的是很好吃很香，很好吃。那为什么我要拼配这个迷迭香茶因为拉西罗玛本身它比较油腻，那吃了就是配合了这个迷迭香茶，它可以让我们去油可以增加我们的免疫系统循环等等，就是配合的很完美。好，这样今天这个茶也好了，我们来品茶一下这个泡好的茶。好，首先我们来闻一下，哇，这迷迭香的香茶好香啊！再来喝一下，哇，好香的迷迭香茶。那喝了这杯茶，让我就想起这一个茶禅一味，茶品天地之神韵，禅语日月之精华。所以我也鼓励大家，就是要常常去运动，然后在家里，在这个大自然的当中品尝这个很香的茶可以保健，对我们身体很好也让我们身体更加健康。好，谢谢大家。
Okay, thank you, Ken Hock, for a very interesting lead-in of the video to your homes and great presentation of this your tea with the very appetizing nasi lemak. Okay, so how does it pair up? I'll still have to leave to the judges to decide.
Okay.
Okay, so our 8 challenges has all done their presentation. We'll wait for a while for the judges to decide on the taste, decide on the pairing, and then we'll call them up again to share with us how they feel about these 4 challenges in terms of their presentation, in terms of their tea pairing, as well as the blended tea that they have done for us. Right. Okay, those online now, just remind you, in case you haven't done that, do vote for the favorite challenges of your choice using the URL in the event page or PSC Pixing Chundi's Facebook page. Right. The vote will end at 4:15 p.m. today. So remember to do that. Okay? Don't go in too late, otherwise you won't get the chance to do the votes. Right, so now come back to our judges to give us their comment for challenger number 4, number 6, number 7, and number 8. We'll start with David again.
Thanks, Inghua. Yeah, I think it's really interesting that we see also quite a bit of heavy or sweet food, right? So
Yes.
the tea not only complements but cuts through a lot of the food. So that if it's too, like even actually the nasi lemak was one of my favorite tea pairings. The sambal, but then the tea kind of like cuts it through. But then you also have the tea is both sweet and savory. So yeah, I found that quite interesting, as well as I think the lupchuk, which I think is green bean based, as well as I think initially in the first round, the first 4, we had also green bean pastry. So green bean and tea seems to also go
Match
quite
well.
Match well,
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the second round of contestants, I found the tea blends to be quite interesting. A lot of them, I think 3 out of the 4 for me had this sweet and savory thing going on, with the tea. Especially I think Ken Hock's one had a bit of a peppery kind of like notes to it, which really brought it out. But when you had the sambal and the nasi lemak, that really enhanced the tea blends. So I thought the tea blends from Charlene and Justin and Ken Hock were particularly interesting to me, the blends. The food pairing, for me, the lupchuk and the tea was quite something. The tea I thought was okay, but then with the lupchuk, it just kind of something happened, and it, brought out the taste of both. I think the lupchuk.
Right. Okay.
A sweetness maybe of the lupchuk brought out the sweetness of the tea, perhaps. Yeah, and of course Ken Hock's pairing, the nasi lemak, the sambal with the tea, was quite phenomenal as well. I thought I wouldn't expect tea and nasi lemak to go together, but hey, there we
who
go.
knows, right?
Yes.
Okay. Right, thank you, David. Micah?
Agreed about the nasi lemak combo. I think we're nearing lunchtime as well. But there's this kind of the heaviness, that's there in the buzhixiang, and this lightness and brightness that happens in the nasi lemak. The spice opens up. So these two counterpoints are, I think, really dramatic finish to the whole tasting ceremony. But for me, as the kind of resident Angmo here, I found really interesting this use of basil, of rosemary, and of cinnamon and orange. These kind of, which for me sounds like a Christmas tea. So when I was reading, I was thinking, it's going to be like a Christmas tea. But actually, the flavor, because it wasn't just regular orange, it was tenpi, so it was like aged orange, which made the taste much heavier and grounding, which I thought was surprising for me. And I found that the combo with the laksa, the cinnamon, sort of brought out these notes in the laksa, and the laksa brought out the notes in the tea, so that the orange really kind of popped out after having had the laksa.
Okay.
So this combination was really interesting. But I do also want to note that look of surprise that we all had when we had Charlene's basil. It was so strong and so fragrant and such a different note that rode along so well with the buzhixiang. And again, I thought the lukchup and goji pairing was very nice, very sweet and delicate. Although on its own, the goji and buzhixiang didn't have quite the weight of the other teas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. Waiki?
I think for Shirley, for her tea and food pairing, Bo Wei Gong, it's one of the best of these Chinese. The only issue I have about her is, I think for improvement for presentation, I would suggest that she use a smaller kettle.
Yes,
Okay, it's also
I
too big
agree.
for
A bit
her
oversized,
to handle.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as for Justin, the laksa and the orange peel and cinnamon, I suggest that he can maybe use a older age orange peel, instead of using a younger one, because the younger one, the citrusy actually can enhance the spiciness up to your throat. Yeah.
Okay.
The older one maybe can suppress it down a bit, and we can taste more of the laksa flavor. But his presentation is really good effort.
Okay.
As for Nima one, her overall presentation is very bright, colorful, and light. Her tea is very nice, and the food is colorful and nice.
Okay.
As for Ken Hock, very interesting and healthy lifestyle. It's more like you go exercise, running, drink tea, go back, nasi lemak. It's like, today it's like we are having from breakfast to lunch.
It's a microcosm of the Singaporean day.
It's like ended up with rice.
Okay.
Yeah, I like his idea of nasi lemak and tea. Very, very nice.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Waiki. So now that we have ended the 8 challenges, and maybe you want to give some time to our judges to share with us their opinion on these herbs, spices, and tea. So, like David, you are have a good liking of tea. So, for you, if we would ask you, how would you blend a tea using 不知香? What will you do with herbs and spices?
And food.
Food.
Pair with food.
Well, I mean, I think the contestants have said also in Singapore, especially, the weather has been very hot the last few weeks, right? So one of the favorite ways for me to brew the tea, from Nanyang Tea is really to do a cold brew.
Right.
I do a light cold brew, which I actually drink throughout the day, especially when we work from home nowadays. So I would put a bit of. Actually, I tried to do this once, and I put pepper seeds into the tea, and then I did a cold brew. It turned out really, really interesting with the sort of the peppery and the herbal taste to the to the tea. Added a little different dimension to the tea.
So what food do you pair with this? If you
I must admit, I don't pair so much tea. I don't snack or eat so much, so I don't. During the day when I mean I drink actually quite a bit bottles of the cold brew tea, but without any food though, because I don't pair, I don't snack a lot.
So now you got some idea with all this tea pairing, huh?
Or maybe nasi lemak for lunch.
Why not? Okay, Michael? You have been, I know you have been quite well versed in Chinese medicine and also some study into herbs and spices. So, what would you say about this tea and herbs and spices? What have you got to say?
Well, I think it's very interesting that when we think of tea culture in East Asia, we tend to think of just simple tea brewed on its own with a variety of different styles of brewing, from pu'er to oolong to qingcha. But in fact, if that entry into China in the 6th century predates by an older Chinese tea culture, which you see evidence in the Shenong Bencao from the 2nd century, from the late Han Dynasty. And the way tea was drunk in China then was mixed, usually with ginger, with salt, with other kinds of herbs and spices, and it was taken as medicinal. And it wasn't called cha, it was called tu. So actually, this is a very ancient tradition that is being revitalized and localized here, and I think that's a very interesting historical moment, actually, for me to think about and see going on. So it's fascinating to see everyone's combinations of local herbs, and I think we're seeing something similar to what I think about as Puranic medicine. There's this kind of fusion of Chinese traditions and local traditions really becoming quite a wonderful synthesis and very creative. Yeah.
Okay.
I think if I was going to pair something with tea, one of my favorite tea pairings is yuebing. Mooncakes. Particularly the kind with nuts inside.
The nutty one.
Yeah, sometimes with a little bit of maybe some chenpi, or some, not chenpi, but the candied peel, maybe a little pepper, something spicy, and actually my cat is also called yuebing. She has a face that looks like that kind of mooncake.
Interesting.
Yeah. But and I'm thinking about what I would do, and normally I would, if I'm doing any combinations, I'm a simple pu'er and juhua combo type of person, or guihua Actually, I think Guihua might go better with the mooncake.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's in season.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Well, Waiki has been a person doing his teaware, also some coffeeware, and because of to perfect his teaware, he's actually do a lot of drinking, tasting of all the tea, and he's no foreigner to Nanyang tea. So at this moment, I would like to ask him, in terms of this Nanyang tea and herb spices, what would you have to share with us?
I think when we talk about herbs, I think dry chrysanthemum, 菊花, 干菊花, and for 不知香 Nanyang tea, we can actually taste guanyin and yancha inside. So I think adding, okay, so for this tea is usually very heavy, and they are usually done during bak kut teh. I think to counter that, we can actually add 菊花 to actually brighten and refresh up the notes.
Okay.
And for the food, I think for the upcoming 端午节 would be nice. Yeah, because it's
with
all
dumpling.
heavy. So
and oily.
with 菊花, actually the notes can all float out a bit.
Okay, and also cool down a bit.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, the judges, for some in-depth sharing of what they have in mind if they are going to do the herb and spices. So luckily they are not in the challenge. Otherwise, probably they'll take all the 3 gold awards already. Okay. Now, I would like to thank again all the 8 challenges for a wonderful presentation, and also to thank David, Michael, and Waiki for taking the time here to do the judging. But your job has not ended. You got to probably retreat back to do your final grading of all the 8 challenges and probably give us the result. But that is not the final result. Okay? Final result will come up together with your votes. So remember to do your votes in the URL, in the event page, and the Pek Sing Chun Facebook page. Remember to do that before 4:15 p.m. Right. Okay. So we will be announcing the result or the placement of this challenge at 7:30 via Pek Sing Chun Facebook page. Okay, there's a streaming of the tea lover of Singapore, who actually are the supporter of this challenge as well, right after this announcement. Okay. I would like to say thank you for staying with us in this challenge, which is done in conjunction with the Singapore Heritage Fest 2022. This Singapore Heritage Fest is still ongoing, so you can actually check out the other activities by scanning on the QR code that is now on the screen. Right, there's many activities going on. It will end end of the month, so there's many more activities. Do check it out. Right, in Singapore, it's actually a very relatively young country, so to create our own culture and heritage is very difficult, not to mention preserve and promote it. So with this challenge, we hope that you have a better idea on the versatility of this Nanyang tea, and let's us all work together to bring up the spirits. Right, so right here we announce the result at 7:30. We'll say goodbye for now. Bye bye. Thank you, judges, and let's say goodbye to all our viewers and challengers.
Contestants, all for doing great tea brewing.
Yep.
Great effort.
Yeah, really good job.